really handy thing to get us ready for our next.
Tina, I have a question.
Okay.
I would like to learn to play softly and gently instead of clomp clomp.
Ah, softly and gently instead of clonk clonk.
Yes.
So when you say that, do you mean the melody notes seem kind of clunky?
Well, yeah, that too. I'm just very clonky clonk with my hands, with my fingers. And every so often I stop and think, okay, I've got to do this a little more softly. But if I just had some hints about
Mhm.
technique in that area, it would help. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that ties in beautifully with stuff I wanted to talk with you guys about today. Um, now, just I shut the dog out of the room because he was a little barky, so we may hear him complaining at the door. Oh, there he is. Um, on my website, I added two things on there. I've got scales and study in F. Those are two things that I thought would be good to talk about today. Um, study in F is one that I wrote last year, I think. And I'll put it up on the screen. But the whole purpose of that one is to give a single finger picking pattern and have an anchor finger on this hand. So we'll talk about that with you guys. We'll talk about some technique. This is a perfect day to be doing this. Hey, this is awesome. Okay, so let's line ourselves up first with some scales. And that scale sheet that I did, I'll share it with you guys so you can see what's going on there, and then you can just choose, different scales to work on, right? But the first one we'll do is just the C major scale. Now, in terms of clonk clonk, I'll bet one of the things you may be doing, because I'm not there with you guys, so I don't totally know, but you may be picking underneath the string and kind of snapping. If you ever hear like a snapping kind of sound when you're playing, sometimes I see where people put their whole fingertip like that and kind of grab the strings from underneath. So when I play, I might have to let him in. Poor dog's protesting. When I play, I use just the tip of my finger, and then it has just a little bit, and I don't even feel like I stick my nails underneath when I play. I tend to just have a little bit of fingertip and then flick the string. Okay, so that's something to think about if you feel like your playing is a little bit rough, I know for me, I used to stick more fingertip in between my strings. And once I did just a tiny bit, oh, there, that's a better angle. Once I did just a tiny bit, that made a big difference in my technique in terms of having a bit of a lighter, more controlled sound. Something else that happens sometimes, though, when you do that, is you feel like you're not very loud anymore. And then you might feel like in order to get loud, you have to go like that and snap the strings. I used to do that. But you'll find that your strength of this part of your finger joint, the amount of strength that you use there, when you pluck, there's quiet. You can still get lots of volume. By just thinking about plucking louder or quieter just from this very position. So let's talk about doing that. Let's talk about getting louder and quieter and just using a scale. Okay, so it's just going to be the C major scale. What I'm going to do is run through the scale sheet that I've done up. We'll play it, I'll share it with you guys. But ways to improve that sound, to refine that technique, you can do just with a scale. So let's do the C major scale. And what I'm going to do is play it repeated notes, okay? And I'll just use these guys here, okay? Just the bunny ear fingers. We'll start with our open C, and what we'll do, 4 plucks per, really quiet. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, really quiet. Whoops, that wasn't quiet, I messed it up. Let's try again. 3, 4. Okay, and now to D on that second fret. Keep it nice and quiet. Okay, now that second string open. First fret. Third fret. First string open. Second fret. Third fret. It's kind of relaxed feeling, right? When you play that quiet, like there's not a lot of tension in your fingers. Let's go backwards from right from where we are. So third fret, first string, here we go. Second fret, open. Third fret on the second string. First fret, open. Second fret. On that third string, now open on that third string. Okay, that was super quiet, right? Overdo it. Overdo it when you're practicing quiets and louds, okay? Now let's do kind of a normal volume, whatever your normal volume would be. And notice when you pluck like that, this is all called free stroke, okay? Where I'm letting my fingers go like that, up towards the palm of my hand. If you're getting kind of a clunky noise, you may also be doing rest stroke. You hear that difference? Okay. But it's hard to have a flowing melody going if you're constantly doing a rest stroke. So focus on free stroke for right now. Constantly just going in like that, okay? So medium volume now, still free stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4, open. Second fret. Second string open. First fret. Third fret. First string open. Second fret. Third fret. Back down to second fret. Open. Third fret on that second string. First fret. Open. Second fret on the third string. And open. I like to do these scales in groups of 4 so I can practice those alternating fingers. I do that a lot. Yeah, Mary, do you have a question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do your fingernails touch the strings too?
What happens with my fingernails is I start with my fingertip and the nail just gives it a bright finish. Sometimes when people are playing with nails, they feel like they have to use just the nail, but that's not actually the case. You start with fingertip and the nail just slides across the string at the end to give it a little bright sound.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Yeah, it's interesting, you know, because you think like you see people playing with nails and you think they must just use their nails, but it's not the case. There's always fingertip. So when you're practicing at a medium volume, aim for a consistent feel. Also, you may have noticed, or you may not have, depending on how focused you were on your own thing, that I anticipate the next note that I play. Okay, that also helps me to have a smooth sound. Just watch how I play this scale, okay? So I'll do the 4 per so that you get time to watch this hand. So see how I'm hovering over that second fret? I place it. Second string open. See how my index finger's ready to go? And look, that third fret finger's lined up. Look at how I pivot my hand. just a little bit in anticipation of that first string, and then I have my middle finger hovering right over that second fret, and then over the third, anticipating that movement. Once you memorize that scale and can do that, it gets easier. And see there on the way back, I played that first string open, and I have that third finger ready. Now I may or may not put both fingers down at the same time on the way back. You can, or just have that index finger just waiting. And that's where using a finger per fret, see how that middle finger was just ready to go? My frets are literally underneath my fingers. Okay, so if you practice that C major scale in the open position with first finger on the first fret, second finger on the second fret, and third finger uses the third fret, that'll help you too. You'll start having more effective movements when you're playing. Now, that said, I always say things like, your hands, may not move the same way as mine. So if that's the case, then modify it to make it work for your hands. But I would encourage you to play this scale with more than one finger, okay? So that you get that flow between notes. So now we're going to play loud with our picking, okay? So things that I want you to think about when you're playing these scales, try to memorize it. Make your quiet really quiet. Make your medium about where you normally would play. Your loud, make it as loud as you can, but still maintain. Now I'm bracing with my thumb because I'm sitting kind of funny when I play on here, but you may anchor your thumb against the soundboard of the ukulele, and that's okay. Okay. Maybe your thumb doesn't, and that's okay too. Your baby finger might sit there on the soundboard. Mine doesn't, but that's, everyone plays a little different. Okay, now we're going to pluck loud. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're still going to maintain a free stroke. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. As loud as you can get. Second fret. Second string open. First fret. See how I'm still plucking free stroke? Third fret. But you can feel that tension, right? On your fingers as you do this. Open. Second fret. Third fret on that first string. Back down to second fret. Open. Third fret on that second string. Here comes that first fret. Open. Second fret on the third string. And open. The first time I did that, my quiet was really quiet. My regular was about the same as it normally is, and my loud was non-existent. I just couldn't play loud. It happens, right? Like I was just like, what? I can't get very loud. But it's about having a little less flexibility in that joint in order to be loud. Not like snapping underneath here. But when I do that, I firm up my first knuckle there. And that's where a lot more of my tension comes from, my strength when I play. I tend to be more when I'm playing quieter. I would say this part of my finger is not as tense. And then when I get louder, my muscles seem to be more engaged. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Larry might have, he's a doctor, he's a surgeon. He's probably got a better way to think about the way I'm moving my joints. But I do have more tension in here when I play loud. Whatever you think about in order to get yourself playing in 3 different levels, whatever makes sense for you, do it. Your loud may not be super loud to start, but then make your quiet quieter, so that you still feel these 3 different levels of volume. Keep in mind, don't stick your fingers underneath the strings to get that loud. That'll help you build more finger independence when you're playing. And that's one of the things that I used to stop having that kind of snappy sound. So, oh boy, you guys get ready. It's going to be a workout today. Okay, so there's that, just straight out scales. And sometimes people say, oh, the scales suck. Yeah, well, the scales are good, man. Now, C major on 1 string. Okay, let's just play with that. So that's all listed on my, I'll just share the screen so you guys can see it here. Did you guys see that that scale sheet there? I need a nod to make sure you guys are looking at the same screen. Thank you very much. I always wonder, the other day I shared a screen, but it was just, I shared a screen of our own image, so that was great. So there's the C major open position that we just played in the 3 different levels of volume. Now I'm going to take the C major on 1 string, 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, and I'm going to play it all with my thumb. Okay. So these are the first 2 scales listed on there are ones that we're used to doing. The next few on there, actually the A minor natural, we've done a lot too. Look at this C major 2 octave. Oh, I don't think we've done that in this group before, or if we have, it hasn't been for a long time. Then the other one that I've got on here is an F major down at the bottom of the screen. So we'll slowly go through these scales. We don't need to do them all right this second, but what I want to do is go back to the C major on 1 string, and I'm going to play it with my thumb. But what I'm going to do is stop sharing the screen, show you guys my thumb movement when I play, and then we'll play it together. All right. So I'm sitting there, I'm playing, I've got my thumb lined up on my 3rd string. See how much of my thumb there is there? Just the edge of it. So when I play with my nail, I might have my thumb, well, let's be realistic, there. Okay, there. That's turned a little bit better there. So a bit of my thumb, and then again, the nail just gives it a bright kind of finish. So I'm going to sit and play that scale. And what I'm going to do, all with my thumb right now, and see how I'm making a circular movement? I'm not doing this. I'm coming right back to that string, always ready, okay? So let's try that scale just with our thumb, and we'll do 4 plucks per again. So open, 2, 4 are the first few. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a perfect opportunity, 2nd fret, for you to watch that thumb, 4th fret, and make sure it's coming back in a circular motion. Oh, did we do 4? Okay, 5th fret now. 7, 9, 11, and 12. Back down to 11, and then 9, 7, and then 5. 4, and then 2, and then open. I feel like when you're picking. So much of the stuff you do in music is know your shapes. Right? Let's make a circle. I think about that a lot. And when I sit and play, I would say I'm doing circular motions a lot with my thumb. Again, we're talking strictly about free stroke playing. So no rests, just free. And then with my fingers, when I'm doing a lot of free stroke plucking, it's a bit more, like it's not totally circular. A bit more of an oval maybe. But it's, I pluck, and then I hover and I get ready to play again. Now let me just take a peek over at my, oh, good, okay. So, scales, beautiful scales. Let's go through. Oh, Diane's got to go. Okay, bye, Diane. Yeah. So, do you guys want to try one more of the scales on that sheet? Yeah, okay. The C major 2 octave. Super duper fun to play. Because, you know, I always think, right? You got the scales, you paid for them, use them. So I'm going to play it from this C up to, I didn't make it high enough on my sheet. We have to add in 2 extra frets. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell you guys where to add it on the sheet and I'll do up a better one. Okay, so I'll play. So we're going to do our C major up to here. And then we're going to add in frets. And we're going to take it up to the 15th fret. If you have 15 frets. Okay, here we go. So C. So 3rd string open. We'll just take our time. Okay. And then 2nd fret on that 3rd string. 2nd string open. 1st fret on that 2nd string. So everything is familiar right now, right? 3rd fret on that 2nd string. 1st string open. 2nd fret. 3rd fret. Okay, now we're going up to 5. And then 7. And then 8. 10. 12. 14 if you got it. And 15. I know, right? Now, those notes might sound a little dull up there. Okay, and I think I talked to you guys before about this. When I play, if the notes sound a little bit like they're not ringing out, I turn my hand a bit so that my fingernail lines up a little bit closer to the fret. Because those frets are tiny. But isn't it fun to play up there? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's start on 15. We're going to work our way back down. So 15, 14, 12. So 15, here we go. 14. And now 12. Then 10. 8. 7 and then 5. 3 and then 2. We're home free now. Open. 3rd fret on that 2nd string. 1st fret. Open. 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And then open. So much fun to play. So much fun to play. Do repeated notes. Get comfortable with the frets, so, right? Get to know them. Now let me share the screen and show you my confession about the notes that I forgot to put on. All right, so here we are with the C major 2 octave. It's called a 2 octave scale because it goes from 1 C to the next C, so that's a 1 octave, and then carries on past the 12th fret. So if you've already printed it off, just add a 14 and then a 15 after that. So it goes from, it's 2 scales combined, that's why they call it a 1 octave, from 1 C to another and then to one above that. Use it as a tool. Okay. Use it as a tool to practice your picking with your thumb or your fingers, and also to practice position changes. Okay. So when I say position changes, if I play in first position or open position, my first finger is going to be on my first fret. If I switch to 5th position, chances are good you're going to see my index finger on the 5th fret, my ring finger on the 7th fret, and I might stay in that position and play with my baby finger on my 8th fret, so that I have smooth changes. Those sorts of changes will also help you to have a smoother playing sound, not quite as clunky. And it's not written in stone, the position changes, because it depends on the song you're doing, depends on what's going on, right? But if you give yourself a little bit of a guideline for that, like maybe right above the 5th fret note that I've got highlighted here, I might write index finger, you know, so that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so that you guys can watch my hands as I play, and we'll talk about these position changes. Okay. All right, so I'm playing in open position or first position. I've got my middle finger on my 2nd fret, ring finger on my 3rd. Now I'm going to do a position change as I play that scale. So I'm playing in 5th position. So there's a finger assigned to each fret there. 10th position. Kind of cheating, I've got my middle finger there because the frets are so teeny. And then you could call this 12th position. See how I'm just I'm hopping down the fretboard in different pieces. I'm thinking about it like that rather than, I might do this with one finger until I get comfortable with where all those frets are. And then I'm going to start feeling like I need to have a smoother sound. So that's where I start using more fingers. Maybe I'll do that. Oh. There we go. But even then you can hear like a dot, right? You hear that little hopping sound. That's where you might want to add more fingers. You might say, I want to change that. That's where you start to smooth out your playing a little bit. Well, that was a weird one. Hey, look at that. But there's different options. Oops. You'll start to find what feels right for you. That's why I'm showing you these different options. Eventually, you'll start to smooth out that sound of that scale. So take your time with it. Find positions that work for you in terms of using more than one finger. And that'll make a big difference in your playing as well. Oh, a big scale rant. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, time for coffee. We're going to play a little study that anchors your finger. And this one, I think I wrote this one last year. I'm going to play it. And you'll find that the picking pattern remains the same. So right hand picking, I think almost all the way through, it's 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. So maybe you'll play it with these guys. Maybe you'll play it with these guys. Okay. Oh, I think Finn's about to break in. You're okay. Okay, now that he knows he's okay, he's all right. All right, I'll play this piece for you, and then talk about the techniques that are involved in it, okay? But watch my index finger. My index finger is going to stay put for the most part. So I played that whole part there and kept that index finger down on that fret the whole time. I pivoted, but it was my little anchor there. Second part of the song, you can relax a little bit more. And then back to the beginning. So anchoring a finger, it's kind of neat to do. It feels strange at first, but it's a way for you to practice getting more independence with these other fingers. It's tricky at first to keep one finger down. So I'm just going to look at it as a single page view at first, so we don't get too wrapped up in looking at the whole thing. All right, can you guys see that okay, or do you want me to make it bigger? Looks like it's okay. So it's this guy right here. I play that first fret with my first finger, and I keep it down the whole way through that whole page. The only time I might lift it up is to reposition it a little bit, like if it feels like it's kind of skewed on line 4. Whoops. Line 4, bar 8. That's where I would give it a little repositioning. When I'm playing this section, I would say that every time I play it, I'm using my middle finger on my first string to pick, index finger on my second string, and I'm just keeping my thumb on my first string. So I'll play through it and talk to you guys about it as I play it, but try playing it with me. Get your index finger on that second string, and then we're going to pluck strings 1, 2, 3, 1. So let's try that. Ready? Here we go. Index fingers on there. 1, 2, 3, 1. So I played with my middle finger, and then on the next bar, I'm going to again pluck that first string with my middle finger. So it feels a little weird, but on that next bar, now I've got my middle finger on the first fret of the first string as well as that index finger that's still anchored. Okay, next line. I've got my open now. And now I've got my third fret there on my second string. My hands are not big. I use my baby finger on that third fret so that I feel confident keeping my index finger down on that first string. Okay, so I'm going to do that bar again. And then bar 4, so that second bar on line 2. That one feels a little bit crampy because I've got my middle finger on my first fret on string 1. Index finger is still anchored on string 2. But look at that, I got my middle finger on that second fret of string 3. And sweet release, line 3, we can let all that go. Of course, middle finger's still down. Now I'm on, oops, Oh my gosh. Line 3, bar 2. Okay, line 4. Here comes that baby finger again on that 3rd fret. And that's kind of my repositioning area there where I've got that 3rd string open that I'm just plucking with my thumb. It's nice to play that part with your thumb because it gives it a different tone than the fingers. So then it just starts over again on bar 9 here. So we've got our open, 1st fret, and then that 3rd string, 1st string, and now I pivot my hand back a little bit and get my middle finger on that 1st fret. Okay, now on the bottom line, back to the open with the 1st fret on that 3rd string. Baby finger on the 3rd fret there on the 1st string. And then the bar that's a little bit busier, right? With the middle finger on the 1st fret, still our anchor, ring finger on that 2nd fret on the 3rd string, back to that 1st fret on the 2nd string. And here we go on the next page. Now we're back to just the normal one with just the 1st fret anchored there. Pivot your hand back so you get that middle finger on the 1st fret on that 1st string. Next line with the baby finger on the 3rd fret. And then you've got a pinch there, 1st fret, 2nd string, and 3rd string open. Okay. Yeah, Vicky?
I find it easier. So like in the go up to the beginning, or
Yeah.
let's see. So your first measure is good.
Yeah.
I'm pivoting and using my index finger as a bar on the first frets of measure 2.
Yeah.
And then you just pivot and go back to holding 1 string or the 2, and then you don't have the confusion with the middle finger getting in there.
I was wondering if anyone would bar. I was doing that this morning. Yeah, right on. Barb?
Yeah, I use my index finger. I thought you were doing that, and then I heard you say pivot. I was like, oh.
Well, and this is the thing, right? Because the whole idea is to keep that finger anchored. So whether you bar or pivot, it's totally cool. Right on. Oh, that's neat. Now, when you get to bar 4, are you guys barring there, or are you using 3 different fingers? That's Vicky. What are you doing?
I'm barring.
You're barring.
The
Okay.
first 2
Yep.
on fret 1.
Yep.
First 2 strings, then it's open, and then you just you're still barring on the last note there.
Yep.
But when you go to the next measure, you just lift it up, and you're not playing. You're still. I keep my index finger on that 2nd string.
Good. So 2 different approaches, right? Either one is totally cool if you bar or not. Ah, awesome, you guys. That's cool. Okay, so you guys have got, just write in notes about the fingering that you need to use for this, for the way you want to play it. The only thing that you want to do is keep that index finger anchored. Barring or individual fingers, whichever way it goes. And the whole thing there is really to help you play a song smoothly, right? By not lifting up a finger unless you really need to. And you don't need to lift up that finger until we get to the second part. And even then, I designed this part so that index finger could actually be played all the way through too. You can use different fingers if you want, but you don't have to. So I'll play starting right at the top of this line here. So we've got our 1, and we're just rocking back and forth. I just use my index finger and my thumb. I keep my thumb on my 3rd string open. 3, 5, 3. I tend to use different fingers here because I almost feel like my anchor wants to be let loose a little bit. When I get to my first ending, where I'm picking up notes on that fourth string, I do change my fingering. Like I've been playing with my middle or index finger and my thumb all the way through, just rocking back and forth between the two strings. When I get to my first ending, I'm using my middle finger there on the second string, index finger on the third string, and my thumb on the fourth string. You guys may have a picking fingering that you feel works better for you, and that's okay too. Like maybe you use your thumb on the third string, thumb on the fourth, back to thumb on the third string. That's okay. Whatever feels comfortable for you to allow you to smoothly play it. That's what matters. So let's play this section again, but I'm going to go to the second ending this time, which if you take a look, looks almost identical, but it just ends with an F chord that's plucked at the end. So you've got your for an ending. Okay, so here we go at the top of the page there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 0. Now to 3, 5, 3. Next line, 6, 5, 5, 3. Next line, 3. Now opens. Second ending, 1, 0, 2, 0. Pluck your 3 strings of your F chord. Now, does anybody know what DCL fine means? Oh, Vicky does, yeah. Just one person?
I think you told us before, and I can't remember.
Could be. So you go back to the beginning and play until it says fine. So this song's written in binary form. You play section 1, section 2, and then go back to section 1. Really is what it amounts to. So let's play through this part again, and barring or not, decide what works for you, and I'll scroll down as we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next line, baby finger. Next line, oh, 1, oh. 2 of those ones now. Next lines we're on bar 7. Now 1 with the opens. Gives you a chance to kind of relax your hand there. Okay, now I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so second line from the bottom. Here we go. Oh, 1, oh, oh, 1. Next line. Now all the 1s and the 2. Okay, now I'm going to scroll to the next page there. There we go. Okay, so let's play those 2 lines and we'll end where it says fine. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So something you can do with this song, if you're comfortable already with keeping that finger down as an anchor, emphasize notes like beats 1 and 4. And bring out the sound of beats 1 and 4. Try to just make that a little bit louder in that section.
So Tina, after it says fine, you go back to the top, or you keep going?
At fine, you're done, because that's the finish. So what?
Oh, okay, we did the extra. Okay.
Yep.
I thought we were starting at the beginning. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So there it is, first section. I should have probably put in like section A and section B, but I didn't. So you repeat this section down here, right? first and second ending. Then go back to the beginning and just play that first page and top of the second page till you get to Fin A, and then you're done. So anchors away, man. Keep that. That's what I should have called it instead of study in F. I always have boring song titles. Oh my gosh.
So you do the first page.
Yep.
When you go down to 24, you go back up to 17
That's right. Yep. You got it.
and do it to the bottom of
Yeah.
25, and then back up to the first page and finish on 14. Okay.
Finish
Got it.
on 16.
Oh, 16. Okay.
Yeah. See
Okay.
where that little double bar, like
Yep.
the two little lines? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now I see.
Yeah.
It. Thanks.
You're welcome. The trick for most people is to look at those first and second endings. That usually requires a little bit of focus going from like bar 24 back up to 17 and then playing through to bar 23. Right here where it says 23. And then from there hopping down to bar 25 for that second ending. That's usually the part that trips people up, so just be aware of that. And yeah, so techniques again, anchoring that index finger no matter what in the first section, and then emphasizing or playing a little louder beats 1 and 4. All free stroke all the way through. And yeah, there you have it.
Tina, something that I just discovered as I was playing bar 15, 16, the last note of 15 and the next one, the plucking in 16, is I kept my little finger down on the 3 when I went to the 0, 1.
Yeah.
Because I could hear that when I let go of my little finger, I could hear an extra note in there.
Yeah.
So and it's probably because my technique's not great, but anyway, it was a little trick I just discovered accidentally.
I'll bet that that's a good idea because it's still part of the harmony of the F chord. I'll bet what's going on with that is when you're lifting up your finger to release that note, you may be actually plucking that string ever so slightly. Hear that? You're probably doing that just a little.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
So I'll have to work on that.
Lift up, you know what I do. Here's some techniques for that. Okay. So there I am. As I lift up that finger. Oh, look how I put my finger back on that string to stop it from ringing out. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Okay, I'll do it again. Okay. Depends on where I am, but sometimes I'll stop a string from ringing if I need to by just putting my finger on it. And it looks like I'm just resting my hand, but I'm not. I'm totally in control of what strings ring out and what ones don't by doing that. The other thing that you want to watch out for, that inadvertently doing a pull-off. If you lift your fingers straight up, you're more likely to stop the sound of the string ringing just by not engaging the string, just lift straight up.
On the other hand, a pull off on that note deliberately doesn't sound awful.
Not at all. No, it's all part of the F chord. So yeah. And that's where decide how you want to play that part, right? Except having that third one just ring out like that sounds beautiful. Strumming it. Play around with the chord and see what sound you want to have. You know, I find the 3, like if I intentionally added it to the chord shape there, might make it sound a little unfinished there. That's why I was just heading for that. So it ends with the sound of the F note. Oh, play with it, you guys. Maybe you'll interpret it differently than me and just have fun with it. Oh my gosh, it's 9:54 and we've been crunching on technique this whole time. Let's play Imagine level 4. We'll just go through it. I'll take my time playing it. Just relax for a few minutes. That was intense, you guys. Whew. Hopefully it was some information about the different ways to pick. I mean, it sounds like it's intense talking about it, but it's worthwhile making sure that you know how I play, right? There we go. Okay. So one thing I discovered with Imagine level 4, I just want to show it to you guys here. Is it right here? Look at the last notes of line 2. They're not spaced out really well, hey? It looks like it says 012, but it's still 012, just like the beginning. Okay, so you may have said to yourself, okay, I'm just going to follow that and play an 012, and you're like, what? That doesn't sound the same way that Tina played it. So watch out, it's still just fret 0, 1, 2, and you'll see it there. Look at them all. So you might want to just make note of that, okay, you guys?
I picked up on that at the last lesson because I was looking at that and I thought we didn't play a 12. And then I realized that there was really the need for the spacing between that 1 and 2. So
Yeah, and I just didn't even notice it when I was doing it up. So I need to go through it and space that back out again. But yeah, as long as you guys know. There we go, get all comfy. I think I've just about destroyed my husband's computer chair here. I twitch. Hear that? Poor chair. I'm always moving around. Okay, here we go. Let's try just nice and slow through it, hey? Okay, right on the intro. 2 and 3 and 4. Here comes that C major 7 and F. Oh, 1, 2, and again. To F. Next line. Okay, now we're back on the F. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2. Next line. Under the F. Under the F again. Here comes that special E minor. 5, 5, 5. Under the G. Under the C that I forgot to put in. The G with the 5th fret there. You guys got it there? Okay. Now we're a little run there. 7, 10, 7, 10, 8. Back up to bar 3 there, right? Right here, line 2. Okay, here we go. Under the F there. C major 7, F. F. Bar 11. Special A minor. under the G, C, and now I have to scroll. There we go. Bottom line there under the F, G, C. And here comes that part that we really worked on there. G. I'm kind of powering through it, so just ask away with questions. Last line there. Under the G that's not written in. Oh, I love that pull off there. F. Okay, so added in a lot of different little things there last week. So I want to know questions? Any picking observations or anything like that? No? So just keep in mind that, you know, I've added in a lot of stuff in level 4. You can decide what you want to play and what you want to bring in from the other levels, right? Make it your own. This part here, D minor 7, that let me just scroll so we just see that. Second line from the bottom there, the D minor 7 part with the bars. How's that going with barring on that 5th fret, you guys? Is it comfy? Okay, because you can also, if you're not comfortable barring, you can still put your index and middle finger on the 5th fret notes and just reach with your baby finger if you need to. I tend to be pretty free with my picking and my rhythm when I'm playing the song by myself. I gotta scroll. Oops. Like, have fun with it, right? You know, play around with the rhythm. Let your ukulele sing for you with this. And
Tina,
just, yep. Mhm.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you show again how you play the bar 14? The 7, 10, 7, 10.
Yep,
Can you show your fingers on that one,
absolutely.
please? Thank you.
All right. So here I am on bar 14, and that's 7, 10, 7, 10, 8. When I slide down, it's just whatever I have. Do I have other studies to share? Vicky, I've got a huge pile of studies. I love them. If you guys want to do more of my studies, I'd be happy to share. So this, really, the 7, 10, 7, 10, 8, you're sitting in 7th position. I don't lift up that index finger until I've really moved to my 2nd string. So that whole principle of anchoring a finger, I use a lot in my playing. And that slide is just, you're just sliding out from the note. and it takes you to the position that you next need to be in.
Are you using your pinky to play the 10th on the E chord, E string?
I
Yes.
am, yep.
Okay.
I'm using my index finger on my 7th fret, pinky on my 10, and I've kept my index finger down on my 7th, and then pinky on my 2nd fret, 10th fret, second string, 10th fret note, and then middle finger on my 8.
Okay.
And then as I slide down, I just lift up as I go. I lift up probably somewhere around my 3rd fret. I just lift up my hand. You can still hear the sound of my finger on the string though. Hear that? Because I'm still maintaining contact with that string as I get ready for my next chord.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tina, I have a question.
Yep.
So the chord that is played right before what you just did, the 7-10,
Yep.
could you do the fingering 0-5-3-5 instead? I have a hard time getting the 2-3-5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that isn't that a G as well?
It's a G7. Yep. And that would be just fine too.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yep, fits in there just beautifully. This is where it's always good to be open to trying different things with these songs, right? So quick rundown of options with that G chord. So the way I've got it written, 0-2-3-5 or 0-5-3-5. Change it into a 7th. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you just pick the 0 and 5. That's okay. Or you've got 0, nothing on the 3rd string, and 3 and 5. As long as you've got that and some other harmony of the G chord underneath it, you're laughing. Yeah. I've got Vicky, I've got another study that we might I need more coffee. I've got another study that we might want to do. I've got to think about it though. But yeah, if you guys want some other studies to work on your hand position, I'll totally get them going for you. All right, I think I had better stop my live stream here. So thank you very much